following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
This is the mother of all podcasts.
Check this out.
It's the Happy Hour with the DallasCowboys.com All-Stars.
All-Stars. Whoa, that was loud. Let me tone that down a little bit. All-Stars. How you fellas doing today?
All-Stars are good.
Yeah? What's up, Rob? How we doing, everybody?
Good.
We are live from Concrete Cowboy at the Star in Frisco. It's turning out to be a beautiful afternoon.
It is.
A little hot earlier.
Indeed.
The weather's starting to get nice.
Indeed.
Next week it'll be even nicer, and we'll just roll on into winter.
Yeah.
Sun's out, no rain.
Huh?
Wonderful.
How can you beat that?
You can't.
Nope.
You can't beat it. Well, man, let's get this show started. We're joined today. The All-Stars consist of Brian Broaddus.
Thank you.
Mickey
Yes, sir.
Spagnola.
Yes, sir.
Rob Phillips.
Yes, sir.
And the always present on the Happy Hour show, Nate Newton, my
Hey.
bald-headed brother.
What's
How are
up?
you, Nate? You
What's
good?
up? Well, I think Broaddus is a part of our ball-headed gang, too.
He is.
Yeah.
He is. He
Yeah.
is. True.
Mickey's on his way. I may be on my way soon, too.
I'm trying to catch up,
Trying to get there.
trying to be like Shannon.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to keep it
It's
knocked
looking
down.
good.
So we'll
It's
see.
looking
yeah?
good.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, man.
And I want to say this before we start.
Uh-oh.
I don't know who put together these All-Stars, but a dude named Kurt Daniels feel real left out, so I don't know who put these,
He said 2 weeks he'd be on the show.
Yeah, okay. I wonder who we got to go through to get there.
I don't know.
Nick.
He might be
there.
sitting at the end of the
You
bar
think
right
Nick
there.
may know something?
He might know the guy
all
that
right.
puts it
Yeah,
together.
the message has been sent.
So you need somebody else with a shaved head on here is what you're saying.
Hey, this is the guy leading this show, man. Is the shaved head guy.
Let's shave Hellman's head and get him on.
That would be amazing.
I would
I'm in
love
on
to
that.
see that.
I mean, I got $100 on that.
Hey, let's don't get derailed. This ain't
All right,
hanging
all right.
with the
This ain't
boys.
our show. Okay.
You need a big head if it's going to be shaved.
He does have a big head.
All right, let's talk. We have something to celebrate this week.
Yes, we do.
Our team, the Dallas Cowboys,
Yes.
put it together for maybe debatable the first time this season and looked really good and looked like they were a team that we've wanted them to be all season. I want to go down the line. The first question, give everybody a minute here. Recap the game and kind of what stood out to you in this game. We'll start with you, Broaddus. You are on the clock.
All right, I think that to me, guys, that I was really looking forward to execution or better execution. I was saying, okay, we're, early in this season, we've been plagued with missed assignments and things like that have kind of stalled drives. Drives have been, more than third down and 17 and all that. I was really pleased to see the execution overall with the offense. I liked what I saw with the way the blocking scheme was. I liked what I saw with the pass protection. I liked the routes. I liked the way the receivers were even getting involved, helping in the running game as well. The quarterback looked comfortable throwing the football. They ran the ball with a lot of efficiency, though. That's what this team is. They're not the Rams. They're not the Kansas City Chiefs. When they execute, they're a football team that's capable of winning games, and that's exactly what they were able to do. They keep doing that, they'll be all right.
Nice. Mickey, what you got?
On the clock, huh?
You're on the clock.
I was getting ready to do that myself. All right. I'm not going to straying any further than from the offensive line. They finally did a decent job of protecting the quarterback. They did a good job run blocking. They did a good job blocking for screen passes. And you saw the difference in the quarterback when he's not getting sacked 5-6 times a game, when he's not getting hit another 10 times a game trying to throw the ball. So give him time to operate in the pocket. Let him see what the first option is, the second, the third, make his reads, and have time for the wide receivers to develop routes down the field. And suddenly you got wide receivers. They can go down and catch the ball and get deep. So they got to continue to do that, and we'll find out if it was just because the litmus test is going to be Sunday against Houston with their pass rush.
Rob.
Whoa, almost at a minute, man.
I left 4 seconds on the clock.
No, nice job, man.
I'll be
Nice
real
job.
simple. Zeke 8 and 8 and 8 and 8 some more. He was fantastic, and I wrote about this today. He now has 3 games in his career where he's posted at least 200 yards from scrimmage. And this was one of them, 240 yards. I went back, Nate, and I'm not comparing the two players because Emmett is the GOAT. But Emmett in 15 years had 4 games where he had 200 yards from scrimmage. And so that tells you just how dynamic this young running back is, what he means to this offense, what he means to this team. He broke down the pregame huddle before the game and was all jacked. It was the first time he's ever done it. Zach Martin said there was something different about him pregame. It got me jacked up. He motivated the whole team. And what he does as a receiver as well, he's just a fantastic player. And as Mickey said, the offensive line helping. Offensively, like Brian said, they just were more efficient all the way around, and Zeke benefited from it.
Yep. He was geeked.
Zeke was geeked.
On the clock, Nate.
All I need is for them to do this again.
Yeah.
We 2-2 at home. We 2-0 at home. We 0-2 on the road. Take the same enthusiasm, take the same efficiency, take the same smartness, and take it on the road. Play hard, play smart, run game, defense, special teams, and this team will be all right. I don't get excited off of one win. I don't get excited off – that's Jason, I'm sorry. But anyway, I'm just excited that they won the game.
And you know what? You used the word you used Saturday night, smart.
Yeah.
They were smart.
Well, and I know one thing in our post-game shows and stuff, even after the Seattle loss, Nate was like, hey, go back to who you were. Go back to running the football. Give the ball to Ezekiel Elliott. And I believe the game plan that Nate wanted, he saw the other day. And that's what this football team is. They're not going to throw it around all over the place and have success. They're going to try and pound you with their front. They're going to pound you with the back. And they're going to mix a few things in. They'll have some wrinkles here and there but I don't think there was any dramatic different things. I just feel like, though, as a team, they went back to who they are, and that was be able to run the football.
Zeke said it after the game, Nate. He said we got back to our old self, and that's trying to wear a team down over 4 quarters.
And we're going to – I guess we'll say a lot of what Jason has said for the last 8 years. They executed better. But what I liked was you went back, I think it was 6 carries for 58 yards.
Halftime,
in the first,
yeah.
And then he caught 2 passes for maybe 40 yards. And Mick, I went back and I looked because, man, you talked about a show the other day where the offensive line has been putting them in bad situations, but I just feel like if they know that they're going to come out and get a chance to eat a little bit like Zeke, run the ball, I just think they're a better offensive line.
Yeah.
And if we can get out on the edge, brothers, I know you saw that on the film. They got out on the edge, man.
Sure did.
So you get the offensive line on the move, too.
Yeah,
We've talked about
yeah.
it endlessly, that they do a better job moving than they do standing there and just trying to plow
They ain't got no
straight ahead.
marbles, man.
Even Joe Looney's, 40, 50 yards down the field? I mean,
he just told us that
Jumbo Joe.
Just now in the locker room, he told us, he just imagined there was like a donut in the end zone, and he was going after it.
he's so great.
When Broadus, and I'm talking to Broadus and all of you guys, I believe that this is the 4th game, and I always believe that this was the preseason. Now the 4th game, now you have to, as a coach, don't look back. We had 4 receivers. That's what we played with. Yeah. We played with multiple tight ends, but Jeff Swain found himself a little bit. Is this what we can look forward to?
Let me ask you this, because we talk about this on our show, with the way that the collective bargaining is now and the way they practice and the way they treat preseason. How do y'all feel about we always talk about it takes you 4 games to get up to speed. That's the new preseason is the first 4 games of the year. Do y'all feel the same way, or do you think that is it maybe just takes you that long to click? How do you guys feel about that?
I don't know. I saw a game that was 45-42.
There's other offenses clicking.
There's different parts in this offense, and we just dismissed it. You got 2 different starters on the offensive line. This is a group of 5. Everybody's got to be on the same page, so you got to bring 2 new guys in. We talked about it endlessly about the tight ends. One guy had catches, all right? 9, that's it, right? So you take a little time to get in rhythm with him. The only 2 wide receivers that came back before Butler showed up was Terrence Williams and Cole Beasley. So now you got a whole new wide receiver core, and we just assumed that everything was going to click right from the start, and it was a bad assumption.
No, and that's why I told him when we shut it down, the 2nd preseason game, 3rd and the 4th preseason game. After the 2nd preseason game, we shot it down, the 3rd and the 4th, and that's when I told our group, our preseason, it was a preseason for us, because you can't tell me if we'd have played in 3 preseason games that Dak would have looked the way he looked the first game and our offensive line would have looked the way they looked the first game. It seemed like the coach, everybody was out of sync. They needed to play together to get to understand each other, and that's why I said it was preseason for us.
You know, I don't often agree with Mickey, but I'll agree with Mickey here, Nate. I really will. I think that we went into this preseason or into the training camp with some questions, but one of the questions wasn't about the offensive line. You know, we didn't know what was going to happen. We really didn't know. We assumed that things were going to be okay with Lyle Collins playing it. We didn't know that a coaching change might affect the way he played. You know, we didn't know that Travis Frederick all of a sudden before our eyes was going to get some disease that we never heard of before. You know, I think that so much hinged offensively on that offensive line and all the questions, and then now put in the fact of the receivers and the lack of time. You know, the tight ends thing, you know, whether they're right or wrong, to me, not having a number one receiver, I think was a mistake, me personally. But the questions that we didn't have were about this offensive line, and it's really how this offense goes with that offensive line.
And that is why I don't know. That's why it gets even bigger. Once our offensive line fell apart, what we thought was going to be ain't it. That is why when you look at it, we had 8 wide receivers that we didn't know who was going to be our main guy.
Sure.
We had 4 tight ends who we still don't know who our main guy.
That's fair.
And when the offensive line went down, that threw everything in disarray. They shut everybody down.
But shutting it down, did it affect the way the offensive line played?
Yes.
But they were hurt.
Okay, I understand they were hurt. But if you don't play together as a unit, you don't know each other. When you go on combination blocks, stretch blocks, on the backside, people don't understand the front side ain't what's key. The backside is what's key and what's going. If you don't have enough of those live reps, you would talk to anybody that's an offensive line coach or anybody that's an offensive coordinator that understands the run. The only way you can get better at run offense is to do it live in a game.
Right.
Because if you don't do it live in the game, it's just like somebody lining up on 3rd and long and blitzing you.
Excuse me, Shannon, but did they have success when it was ones versus ones? When we were watching that, Cincinnati, Arizona, we saw there was no sign of any problems in my eyes, Nate, watching when it was ones-on-ones.
And I agree.
The problems I saw is when
sir.
those backups went into the game, that now you had the issues that they had.
Okay, and so if they have that issue and the core and strength is our offensive line, don't you think that's going to throw your team in disarray?
Yeah.
That threw the offense in disarray. I know that.
That makes your team have to wonder where they're at. You know, whereas if we would have had a number one receiver or a guy that can run, okay, let's take the Houston. Take any receiver you
Hopkins.
want. If we had Hopkins, even with a bad offensive line, we could have made some things happen because he's like that.
Oh, they're dealing with that right now.
But we don't have other guys that are like that. So when you don't have other players that are like that, that threw everything in disarray. Okay, do we want to run? How we going to pass this thing? How this going to happen? And you said yourself, Mick, when they started sacking us, they had to go back to the drawing board.
Yeah.
Okay, now, fellas, I'm going to get off this thing, man.
You know what? And
Go find somebody.
thing,
But
man.
you know what? He's basically making my point.
I kind of thought
That's what I'm saying. You're making my point.
The problem was in the preseason, you didn't have your starting center. You didn't have your starting right guard. Your left tackle had gotten something that he couldn't play.
He was shit
So
every other
you were
snap.
You were trying to get these guys healthy to the first game, but you couldn't. You throw those skill players you had out in front of those backups because they weren't good enough.
Okay,
and it took these same guys that were not good enough, and we started them on our offensive line the opening game.
No, just one.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. When you don't have a trust factor in your offensive line as an offensive coordinator, tell me what do you do, brothers? When you don't have a trust factor, do you start trying to change a little things, dibble and dabble? Do you or you don't?
You don't.
All right, look.
Okay, but they did, right?
Yeah, they did. But see, to me though, Nate, I did not see the poor play of the offensive line in preseason. I didn't see that. So that to me,
all you saw was 2 games. You saw the first preseason game, and you saw the second.
When it was
preseason
ones
game.
versus ones,
You know
I
what
was
I'm saying?
okay with what I saw.
Yeah, but it was the starting center and everybody else, right? Starting center, starting right guard. We had everybody in place except one guy. That was our left guard. All of a sudden, we lose our center.
Yeah.
Okay? Now our left guard is new. Our center's new. That right there made me feel that we had to make some type of changes to our offense to get us going. And it took 4 games, brothers. Whether y'all want to believe it or not, that's the reality.
Well, if they're gelling right now, I hope that's good because they've played 2 games on the road where they haven't been efficient offensively at all, and then 2 games at home where they've been better, and this is the best we've seen last week. But every week is different, and this is probably their biggest challenge coming up defensively.
question.
They're going to face Sunday night on the road against more than one guy who can wreck the game pass rushing.
Yeah.
So, every week's different, and I want to see how they respond. I really do. I'm curious.
And a team that thinks they're playing for the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Who that?
Oh, Houston said
Houston.
this is our Super Bowl.
All right, Nate, I know you're a former offensive lineman, but we've given the offensive line enough love on this show.
I tell you
let's
what,
move
boy.
on to the next topic.
I can defend mine all day, every day, baby. I can do a whole show on this.
All right, before we go to break, and then we're going to let Nate ask some questions.
Oh, we have breaks?
We will have 2
yeah.
breaks, actually.
Oh,
Before Nate breaks us.
Before Nate, yeah.
this is like a real show.
This is like a kind of sometimes.
Kinda.
Depends on-
Sometimes.
depends
Okay.
on
We got a
how it
real
goes.
host, yeah.
So let's
You killed a minute theory, Nick. You and Mick, you and
Broadus?
killed the theory, man.
Killed
Y'all
the
should
theory.
agree with me.
let it go, Nate. We're moving on.
I can't.
1 minute. Who stood out to you guys, or a couple of guys that stood out this game that you really took
Come
notice
back
of?
this way now.
Not named Dak or Zeke.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah, there were some other little hidden gems in there. Rob, you're on the clock, man.
Let's go defensively. Simple one, okay? DeMarcus Lawrence.
Yeah.
He's now the leader in sacks in the NFL right now with 5.5. He's on his way to making a lot of money. A lot of money.
Again.
Yeah, again, but maybe with a long-term deal. I know technically they could franchise him, but he's playing like a guy that clearly, he deserves a long-term deal. I'm sure he's going to want one. I'm sure the Cowboys will talk about getting him one after the season. It's not just the sacks, it's the run production. He's always leading the list in terms of tackles for loss as well. He just sets the tone for everything they do defensively. I thought Leighton Vander Esch was effective in his first start.
You get one.
You get
At
one.
linebacker. Okay, and on to Mickey.
More like 30 seconds on this.
Do
right?
you have the NFC Defensive Player of the Week? Your guy?
Who's that?
DeMarcus Lawrence.
Yeah.
Don't they have to win that award?
Yeah, he sure does.
Unless somebody's got like
Yeah.
2 or 3 interceptions.
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
Sure.
So he was getting ready to take my guy. Leighton Vander Esch.
All right, on the
Okay,
clock. On the
you,
clock,
you
Mickey.
expound on LVE.
Just the fact that he came in and started his first game in the NFL in place of Sean Lee, and they didn't lose.
Right.
I know they gave up 24 points, but he didn't have anything to do with those last 7. So they basically held that offense with that quarterback to 17 points until you get a busted coverage that should have never happened at the end of the game. I thought he diagnosed things. I think he showed you his instincts to play this game, and the fact that it was only his 15th start in 11-man football I thought was mighty impressive.
Broadus on the clock.
Yeah, I'll go with Joe Looney because and the thing I liked about Joe Looney in this game was he was able to hold things together in the middle, and that's where you want to be able to say, okay, why is there good pass protection? Why are there guys? Why is there a clean pocket? Why is Dak Prescott able to step forward and throw the ball down the field to Ezekiel Elliott at the end of that game? Clean pocket. A lot of it starts up front. You can say what you want about the left guard there. I thought he did a nice job, played with some knee bend. But Joe Looney, he had to make the call. The Lions couldn't really pass rush all that well because they didn't have Ziggy Ansah. They had to bring some pressure inside. They had to do some different things. I think Joe Looney held up really well in this game. You talk about the screen game, the run game, all that stuff. That's Joe Looney getting out in front. When he's uncovered, he's going to be out there with Zach Martin and those guys. So Joe Looney's my guy.
Nate, he took your offensive lineman.
No.
Who you got?
Lanahan.
All right.
There you
Oh,
go.
nice
I like
game.
it.
A little outside the box there, huh?
You like? He actually had some wrinkles, right?
Yeah.
It's a little different than what you were
It took
saying.
him 4 games, but he finally got it together.
Preseason for Linehan. Preseason.
Wait a minute.
He got used to calling plays up in the box,
You know what makes me happy?
What?
You're actually smiling now because I was worried earlier.
Oh, no.
I was worried earlier.
We were going to have to, Mickey and I were going to have to push
you
this
got
table
a true
over.
all-star panel. You got some strong opinionated
I'm gonna
men
hide
today.
underneath it.
Hey, Nate's used to sparring with us. It's
Yeah,
okay.
man.
I like
Yeah.
it. I'm not used to that on my
He's
show.
passionate.
You saw Rob try to say, well, let's move on. He tried to do it in a nice way.
Nate and I have been sparring for 25
yeah.
years.
I like it. I like it. All right, let's take a quick break. Nate, you got the wireless. When we come back, we're going to pay some bills. When we come
Stir
back,
some people up.
Pass
grab
those
some-
nachos down.
grab
too.
some
Talking to
folks.
you, Mary Jane.
We're going to pound some chips, and we'll be right back on the happy hour.
Back to the happy hour with the DallasCowboys.com All-Stars.
Back the star in Frisco, Concrete Cowboy. This is a great place if you've never been here. They have great food. They have amazing drinks, great atmosphere. The view's great. The weather's great. The people are great.
It's a great outdoor patio.
It is.
Yeah, sure
They
is.
have games. They have, what is that, Connect Four. They have cornhole. It's a great spot. Come
What's
out
the
and check
thing
it out.
Jenga, too, I think.
What's the
over there.
thing with the bricks?
Jenga.
Yeah.
That's
Life-size Jenga. Don't know what it is, huh, Mick? What?
If
You've never heard of Jenga?
You pull
It's
the
like
brick.
that game's like 25 years old. You never heard of it? It's really small usually.
It's like with the blocks are all connected, and you pull the blocks, and if you pull the block and knock it over, you lose.
I know what you're getting for Christmas.
Jenga.
Jenga.
There we go.
That sounds
Jenga.
like way too much concentration.
Yeah.
Well, Nate's got the wireless.
Go get him, Nate.
Who we got out there, Nate?
Nate, you with us?
Yeah, we have MJ right here
All right,
with us.
MJ.
What's
from
up, MJ?
Jonesboro. They here with a
Jonesboro.
We can't call their name, but they're here with a company that does all type supplies for farming.
Okay. Very good.
Jonesboro,
So he has a-
Texas?
Arkansas.
Jonesboro,
Okay, I
Arkansas,
was like,
yeah.
I didn't know there was a Jonesboro, Texas, but yeah, I know where
No,
Jonesboro, Arkansas is.
Yeah, you should know where that at.
There's a Jonesboro, Louisiana, too.
Yeah,
That's right.
Y'all don't count.
Yeah, we
Larry,
do.
Larry Lacewell still in Jonesboro?
Yeah, I don't. Hey, is Larry Lacewell?
I think he's
he
in
don't
Hot
know.
Springs.
Hey, this is MJ with his question.
What's up, MJ?
I'm just checking to see how many times we're going to plug Zeke next week. I mean,
Okay.
he had a great week this week. I mean, we're going to continue to plug him this week, or are we going to try to pass or keep on handing the ball?
That seems to be, and you know,
Good question.
Great question. Everybody seems to, fans, staff, use Zeke. Why are you not using Zeke? Why is it taking them 4 games to figure that out? When they finally did it, everybody I think has been like, get him in the passing game, get him moving, get him out in space. They did it this week. Highly successful.
Did
Do
you
look-
hear
do you look
Zeke
for more
answer
than
that question?
I did not.
last
Tell me.
week?
Nope.
He said when you're behind 2 or 3 scores, you don't have time to hand me the ball. You got to throw it to save time to catch up.
Right. Okay.
Even he understands that.
Yeah.
So I don't know why everybody else out there doesn't
Yeah,
understand it.
it's easier when you build a 2-score lead in the fourth quarter for sure, because that's what they want to do. They want to pound the rock in the fourth quarter with a lead and protect it. When you think about all those games they won in 2016, that's how they did it. That was their formula. But I give you Zeke credit. He saw something in the Lions' defense that led to that last catch that set up the field goal. They split him out wide earlier. They went empty earlier in the game. He had a linebacker on him. He told Scott Linehan. Yeah. Linehan said, I saw the same thing. Dak went to him. Yeah. So that's an adjustment. That's a wrinkle, if you will.
And it also helps when you throw him the pass that he doesn't step out of bounds before he catches it, Seattle, that he doesn't have scissor hands and drop a pass when he could have ran forever if he caught it. And he doesn't fumble. Well, he did fumble the ball at the 1-yard line.
Sure did.
But he fumbled it in Seattle.
Maybe the most important recovery they had
Right?
in the game last week.
So when you do those things, those are 3 more things that he should have been a part of that didn't work out, and now you're behind by 2 scores, and you can't sit there and just keep feeding them the ball.
Well, I'm going to take a page out of Mickey's book because he said it today on our show. If you play a 3-4 front, you run at the 3-4 front. You run. You make those defensive ends, those linebackers have to play. So, you know, if Clowney wants to come running up the field all day, I'm giving him a steady diet of, okay, you're going to catch Tyron Smith run blocking all day. So I'm going to try and wear this defensive front down. I'm going to try and wear the edges down a little bit. And that maybe that takes some of it away from their ability to rush passers. You got Tyron Smith and Lyle Collins banging on you the whole day, tight ends, down blocks, guys pulling, whatever, blocks coming from all angles. You're not going to want to rush the passers.
That's a long day.
That's a long day. So Mickey's book is like run it at him. I don't disagree with that at all. I am all for trying to pound this front, slow down this rush. You can't get in long yardage situations and allow Watt and Clowney and those guys and let them blitz
Merciless.
and let them blitz those A gaps or
that-
it'll be a long day.
And take the crowd out of it, too.
And
take
that-
the air out of the balloon.
And ask Nate, when they went up against 3-4 defenses, they just pounded them little skinny defensive linebackers on the outside.
Back when I played, it was the Steelers. I mean, well, you had to get after them because they kept great pass rush.
Yeah.
Same thing with Buffalo.
Yeah.
Right? Kansas City. Just go get them. My indelible vision of last night was one of the tackles going and getting Miller on the edge and just knocked him on his butt.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, you want to stand up against the run, or all you want to do is rush the quarterback?
Yeah.
Mickey hates the 3-4.
Does
Hates
he?
it. Yeah,
I
he's
hated when the Cowboys played.
Not a fan. Not a fan of it.
Nate, who you got?
See, it ain't just me Mick attacks. He attacking the team for running the 3-4. Come on, Mick.
God.
Hey, this is Nate from Frisco.
All right, Nate.
Double Nate.
He's well built, man. He's standing tall, got his chest out. He feeling like a young
Got his
peacock.
cowboy hat on.
He said he got a great question for you.
Go ahead.
And this is coming at you, Broadus, and maybe Mick. The rest of us,
I'm out.
We
I'm
ain't
out.
up to date on this.
I'll watch.
All right, so with the trade deadline approaching the end of the month, do you see the Cowboys trying to upgrade the tight end position, maybe blocking tight end, or the safety position?
Right.
What do y'all think?
Great question.
It is a good question because these are the things you have to think about. If you told me I could find James Hanna out there right now for like a minimal type of a pick, maybe a conditional or something like that, I'd be all over that. I think they're going to live and die with these safeties. I really do. And I think the talk about with the guy at Seattle, I think, has all gone away. But this team could use a James Hanna right now.
What about a Gavin Escobar?
I don't think he's
a blocker.
No.
A blocker.
Oh, I think there was a tongue-in-cheek there. But I think
not a blocker.
Yeah, I think if you want, I hate to say this, but I think Jeff Swain is getting wore down. I really do. And because he's having to do so much inline Y stuff and try and capture the edge. He did a nice job the other day, but you saw what Jeff Swain's capable of doing. They finally get the waggle to come out the back door, and they get him down the field. That's what Jeff Swain could do. If he had somebody, if Dalton Schultz had developed into like an inline Y like he was playing at Stanford, then maybe I'd feel a little bit different. But
could have freed him up to do other things.
Yeah, exactly.
Because he should have had 2 touchdown catches.
Yeah.
I loved your nickname for James Hanna on our show earlier.
The Stuntman?
The Stuntman.
Yeah.
Bring in the Stuntman.
They need a Stuntman. They really do. They need a Stuntman. But to the safety spot, I just don't see them going out and doing that now.
I mean, there's no one has an excess at that
Well,
position, do they?
Dave Hellman wrote a really interesting piece about the Bostons and the Reeds and the Vaccaros, and these are guys they didn't want.
No, I'm talking about tight ends.
Oh no, I'm talking about safeties.
No,
Now
I was talking tight ends.
I've moved on from.
He moved on from the Hollywood stunt.
Yeah, I was trying to answer the.
I was still on the tight ends.
Yeah,
hey man, I'm gonna allow him if y'all will allow for this one question.
Yeah.
He's loving on some brothers, and you better say the same thing that you told me.
Uh-oh.
All right. So I want to know when the draft show podcast start up again.
Oh, thank you.
Oh God.
It's week 4, man.
I love listening to Nate and Brian go back at it. I mean,
He said, no, I'm going to tell you what he said, bro. He said, man, could I ask about the draft show? I just love when brothers do the draft show.
We had a good time.
I said, okay, I'll make exceptions.
We talked about Pat Mahomes on the draft show when we first started this thing last year, a couple years ago. But, yeah, no, actually we're going to do a draft show on open week, the Thursday of open week, and then we won't start back up until January when the season's over.
Or until they lose their 8th game.
Dane and I are already starting watching.
Because he gives up on the season, It's like, all right, it's over.
Mick, I'm with you, but, he was sitting over here like, man, I love Brothers.
Yeah.
I said, why you love Brothers? He said, man, he does a great job on the draft show.
We have a good time.
People want to talk draft the second week in May.
They do.
They want to talk about the next year.
This league would be a heck of a lot of fun if you didn't have to play the games.
That's right.
If you could just draft and kind of talk about building your team, but then you don't have to play, that would be a lot more fun.
Rob, who do you see them making? They haven't made big free agency splashes or trades in recent memory. They've kind of changed that philosophy a little bit. Do you see them going and getting some kind of role filler or some kind of utility guy, so to speak, like
in the trade market?
Yeah.
For his question, it's a possibility. I'm with Mickey. If you've got excess or depth, it's hard to go get it necessarily, especially teams that are in contention. They're not just going to give it up. It's always a possibility. I'm with Brian. They need somebody probably to help Jeff Swain out a guy that, again, I love the stuntman thing because he's a guy that doesn't get any credit for anything, but all of a sudden when Zeke blows up a big run, they need another guy I think that can help like that. Blake Jarwin is a pass-catching tight end. Rico is still just coming along in all facets of his game.
I saw him make a block.
He did, and they went 3 tight end. I think the first play.
They had a good run on a 13 personnel. They sure did.
Safety, look, they've been saying Xavier Woods. They like Xavier Woods. They like Xavier Woods. Jeff, he's a starter. I don't really see that. They've had a lot of chances to go out and sign a guy as well. They haven't done it. So unless they're absolutely hurting at an injury spot there, I don't see them making a move.
Nate, who we got out there?
We have Miss Jerica. She's from Iowa, but she's want to be, that's too small of a little town, so she said she want to be from Dallas. She has a great question.
Okay.
And we always have one of these questions on the show that me and Broadus does every Sunday.
All right,
Come on, Miss
here we go.
All right, so my question is, I saw that on Twitter that Dez is interested in coming back to the Cowboys. With the way his career ended in Dallas, how is this more of a benefit than a hindrance?
How's it more? Now, let's be honest here. I know Jerica. She does not like Dez Bryant at all.
So there's some commentary in with that question.
This is a setup.
This is very much Mickey. Remember, you guys remember Perry Mason?
Yeah.
Perry Mason never asked a question on the stand that he didn't know the answer to already.
Good lawyer.
And Jerica just did that.
It's kind of brought us on Talking Cowboys too sometimes.
Jerica just did this. So anyway, it's hard to read what Dez is doing. I mean, I wish he would sign with somebody. I wish he could find a way to get with somebody, and then he could focus on whoever that is. And he's trying to get ready. Obviously, he's got a plan of what he wants to do. Does he fit in these plans? Who knows? I mean, we've seen them. They've had 7 receivers and shuffling guys in and out and stuff. Is there too much water under the bridge? I don't know any of that.
And all the fans have been tweeting or putting on social media, bring it back. Is there any way in hell? And never say never with this team, right?
Steven said never say never.
Never say never. And I totally agree. And much to Jerica's dismay, there is a possibility that we could see him. Now, again, how likely? I have no idea. I don't think anybody on this panel has an idea. But
I wouldn't think it's likely, honestly. I mean, that's just my gut.
I got 2 questions.
Based on how it went down and some of the things he said since he left, that could probably be patched up, but I don't see it.
They brought back Bryce Butler.
They did. I mean, I'm surprised. I'm surprised people were making such a big deal about him tweeting that today just because he never wanted to leave. He got cut.
Right.
He didn't retire.
Right.
I mean,
does he want to play?
He's a Cowboy for life.
That's what I'm saying. He's working out, Mickey. I guess the video that we're seeing, and again, I know what you're saying. The video you're seeing is he's trying to work out to do something. I don't think
he started posting yesterday. He's finally doing football things.
Yeah, I don't think he's doing stuff for Forbes magazine to wear a business suit. I think he's trying.
Magazine, Nate, you can hear Nate from over there left.
Okay, and then does he want to play? And the second question is, how long will it take him to get ready to play?
In football shape.
See, that's the question. And I think that's why he doesn't want to sign with somebody right now is because he's afraid that if he goes out there, he'll flop and he won't be able to, it won't look as good. And why did he come back? And he should have been retired and he should have stayed retired. I think that's what he's really worried about. But your questions are legitimate.
Let's take one more break. Nate, you got a few more people that want to ask some questions. We'll take a break, pay a few more bills.
Don't go anywhere.
Don't go anywhere. We need you. We definitely need you for the show.
She needs to refill her drink, and then you can come back.
There you go. We'll be back in just a few minutes on Happy Hour.
Thought you almost said hanging with the boys.
Almost.
I was wondering why I didn't say Talking Cowboys.
Cowboys fans know that the second best of anything simply won't cut it, and your skincare should be no different. A longtime locker room favorite of the players and the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Dallas-based Jack Black is the #1 best-selling men's skincare brand in the country because we make products that help guys look, smell, and feel better. Visit getjackblack.com/Cowboys to get $10 off your first order of $50 or more. Jack Black. Look good, smell good, feel good. Official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys.
Star Sports Tours is the only official fan travel partner of the Dallas Cowboys, offering exclusive game weekend travel packages with sideline access and photo ops with current players, alumni, and cheerleaders. That's not all, though. You'll get to talk X's and O's with Senior Director of Player Personnel Will McClay, and of course with yours truly, me, Brian Broaddus. You can trust the official fan travel partner of the Dallas Cowboys, and with us, you'll travel like a pro. Visit cowboystravel.com to book your travel package today.
Before there was a draft, you could size up a cowboy by 3 simple factors: the crease in his hat, the bend of his brim, and his unbending attitude. A man's Stetson didn't just protect him from what life threw at him, it projected a rugged, unstoppable spirit. Stetson hats are still American-made with pride right here in Texas. They're still the unofficial crown of all self-respecting cowboys, and Stetson is proud to be on the field with America's team. Find a retailer nearest you at stetson.com/cowboys.
I definitely have an Instagram foodie thing, but the low-light camera on my new Samsung Galaxy S9 from AT&T is getting me a whole new world of likes and shares. Baskets of bread by candlelight, colorful fruit plates in full sun. Even a dimly lit Cobb salad was recently hailed as a masterpiece.
Come in now and ask how to get half off the new Samsung Galaxy S9 from AT&T. AT&T, more for your thing. That's our thing. Limited time only. See store for details or att.com/Samsung50. The dual aperture supports f1.5 mode and f2.4 mode. Dual aperture is installed on the rear camera.
Back to the happy hour.
Yeah, check this out.
With the DallasCowboys.com All-Stars.
Back with these All-Stars. Brian Broaddus, Mickey Spagnola, Rob Phillips, and even Nate Newton representing out here at the Star. Concrete Cowboy, come see us. We do this every Tuesday, 6 to 7. Catch it on DallasCowboys.com if you don't catch it live. Nate Newton with the microphone in the audience. Who you got, Nate?
We have Miss Janae from Dallas.
Thank you.
She's a publisher and a salesperson.
Okay, very nice. Thank you.
She has a great question that she said, is it a great question? I say, it's a great question because it'll spur on Mick.
Uh-oh. We like that. Let's
we
go.
love that.
Was that not the greatest catch you've ever seen a running back make?
Wow.
And you know what I'm talking about.
We know what you're talking about. And I'll tell you this. Today we talked about this on the show. Someone called in yesterday, and I was standing right there when Zeke caught it. And there are very few things in life. If you have the chance to experience a beautifully thrown ball, field level, over 30 or 40 yards, and someone makes a beautiful catch, there are few things more beautiful than that in life.
I was standing 10 feet away from Dez Bryant in Green Bay.
That wasn't a catch.
That was a catch.
It was a catch.
That was a damn catch. You talk about the flight of the ball and tracking the ball.
Right. We were all right there.
Yeah.
And seeing him high point it.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, but it wasn't a Willie Mays catch.
Oh, no, he Willie Mays this one.
Mick, were you there? Were you there for that, Mick?
For Willie Mays?
Yeah.
I was watching on TV.
Were you?
Yeah, black and white.
The answer is
no.
yes.
1954?
Yes.
Yeah. Mickey was selling programs that day in Cleveland.
But I do have a home video of Willie Mays coming off the field.
There you go.
Do you really?
Yes.
There you go.
That's
19
impressive.
Best catch you've ever seen? Best catch for a running back?
It was pretty darn good.
I'm going to piss off
trying
a
to
bunch
think.
of Cowboy fans. By a running back?
By a
or
running
by
back.
anybody?
It's a hard running back.
Because every time I hear best catch, I go straight to Beckham.
I think-
Sorry,
I
I can't do. But running back.
She said running back.
R.I.P. Brandon Carr.
Preston Pearson made a catch in a playoff game. I remember this is in the 70s, in Los Angeles. That was, a full extension layout. Difference-making catch. But
that's a great question.
It is a great
I
question.
can't think of anything off the top of my head.
I just thought about that when I'm trying to think of the times maybe Emmitt Smith in those games against us in Green Bay.
How about the catch that Lance Dunbar made in New Orleans? Remember that one down the field?
Not really.
No?
I remember him getting
Before he got hurt?
Yeah, he got hurt in that game, and they had 38 first downs.
That's all I
think.
remember
Yeah.
about that game was him getting hurt.
I think if you go back and say like the great, as Taylor Stern would say, the great time machine, which is YouTube, go back and try and looking for that. But I do remember Preston Pearson making a play as a kid, laying out in a playoff game against the Rams. That I thought, I'll never see a running back, but.
As good as the catch was, that was almost like one of those perfect throws.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Like if he had the garbage can 40 yards downfield and he dropped it right in it.
Protection.
That was unbelievable.
Right there. All right. Yeah.
What do you got, Nate?
Nate's not listening to us right now.
No. He can't hear us. You're up.
No, what I was doing was I was talking to her. We was having a conversation. Can y'all continue?
Can we
to
keep talking?
Okay. All right. Carry on.
Miss Mary Jane, she's a personal friend of Broadus. And,
I'm sorry.
She's here because he asked you 8 times for the show to ask a question, and you didn't want to do it, and now you're doing it. So now, Miss Mary Jane, what is your question?
Sounds like a setup again.
4 games in, who's your defensive MVP?
4 games
Great
in.
question.
I like that quarter mark. That's
Thank
a quarter mark MVP, baby.
Thanks.
I love that. Great question.
Is there another answer besides Tank at this point?
Hey, when nobody's throwing to you, that means you're playing pretty good too.
Well,
Byron Jones is in the mix, but you got to go with Tank.
No, it is a good question because it does make you think that if you say, okay, who has been the best at his position?
Yeah.
Who has been the best? And I would say there would be some argument. And I know Tank is doing a great job with the pass rush, but Tank will tell you, man, I'm getting a lot of help with the guys that are rushing inside.
Yep.
I'm getting some help from Crawford. I'm getting some help from the human log. Is helping me inside a little bit.
Love that nickname.
But that's what I'm saying. Byron Jones is on an island a lot of the time out there, and who's he had to face? I mean, he had to face the Lions. Basically said, you know what? Our really good receivers, we're not throwing over there to that guy. We're going to throw over at these guys.
Yep.
So as much as I think Byron Jones individually has been outstanding, and maybe Tank is outstanding as he's been. A lot of it's been because of the guys around him. But I don't want to take anything away from him. But those are 2 really, really good players.
Let me ask y'all this.
I'll take the guy leading the league in sacks.
And you're going with
he
D-Law?
doesn't like Pro Football Focus, and they've got Byron Jones rated as the top corner in the NFL right
So
now.
he refuses to recognize that?
He won't recognize PFF. Your subscription is in the mail for Christmas.
What they're telling me is that he is covered so well that they don't bother just throwing over there, right? Like he's shut down everybody. Like the first read of the quarterback is always to his side, and they go, can't throw there.
See, Mickey didn't think this was going to work out in the offseason, and it's worked out pretty well.
No, it has.
It's worked out really well so far.
Mickey, just take my approach. Admit when you're wrong and go forward. That's all I do.
It's worked so far.
So far, it's worked.
So far. He had to throw that so far. There. I love it. Nate, who you got out there?
We got Ben.
What's up, Ben?
From Jonesboro, man. What company y'all with? It's a group of guys. What company is it?
Helena.
Sue what?
Helwana?
Say it one more time.
Nutrient Ag Solutions.
You like you ready
Nutrient
to go?
Ag Solutions.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
All right,
Ben
well,
is from Jonesboro. He has a question, and he was over there winning at, what you call it, Bago?
Bago, yep, that's it.
All right.
All right. What's your question, sir?
Ben?
So is Dak, is he a one-hit wonder?
Which one hit?
Dak.
Today?
He already told you, Mick.
No, I want to know where the one.
You mean this past game or that first season?
Where's the one hit?
So is he a one-hit wonder?
For this past game or
Guy in the white T-shirt, is he a
2016?
one-hit wonder?
Or 2016?
The one hit, not a two, one hit.
One hit?
Yeah, one-hit wonder.
I think he's had about 24 hits.
I see where this is going.
I do too. Mick, you take this one, Mick. This one's all you.
I see this is a really good
Mick,
bit.
go
This
at
is a
it.
bit.
Yeah, let's go.
This is a bit right here.
They put him up to it.
Look at Nate.
No, I didn't.
Look at
No, I
Nate.
didn't.
Nate's trying to set me up.
My man.
You know what? I did not
I want to
interview
take my man
We
fishing.
talked about
I want
what
to
he
take my
was
man
doing.
fishing because I think he can tell stories, and I think he drinks a lot of Miller Lite when he's out there fishing.
You
So
think?
I think so.
Tell
I think
you what,
he's-
Ben, do you have another question there? You have another question. Give him time.
Okay.
Because this is the first guy that I like to try to prep him.
Yeah.
And we was talking about the game over there he was winning. And I just threw the mic at him. And
And you took him away from the game he was winning?
yeah, he was winning that game over there.
Was it a one-hit wonder over there?
I believe it was a one-hit wonder. Leave it at that.
It was a one-bag wonder, right?
Stay golden, pony boy.
Stay going,
Yes!
Bonnie boy.
Drop that
Thank
mic.
you,
I love
Ben.
it. I love
Thank
it.
you,
I like
Ben.
it.
Hey, Ben, you got it for me, baby.
I got a question for you guys. Go
Problem is, no one understood what he said.
I did.
No,
we got it.
Outsiders reference, right?
Stay gold, pony
Yes,
boy.
sir.
Outsiders.
Yes, sir. I got
Karate
a
Kid.
question for y'all off the D-Law question.
Yeah.
Is Tyrone Crawford one of the most underrated guys on this team? I saw him literally annihilate a guy on one play with his hip. Is he doesn't seem to quite ever get there, but he's always close. And I mean,
I feel like, and I'm the one that seems to get on Twitter more than anybody else, and it's not everybody else's fault. It's weird. I do it. I answer questions.
Well, you're a millennial. That's
and
what millennials do.
I'm 54 years old. I'm not a millennial. closer to the end than I am the beginning.
Stop it.
But I look at this, and I feel like I'm always having to defend him.
Mm-hmm.
It started off where people said he's not worth the money, he's not worth the money. You want to know the best thing that happened to Tyron Crawford? I think he's healthy. He's finally fully healthy.
Good shoulders.
Good shoulders. Everything's good about him. The weight
There
loss.
it is, brother.
Losing the weight loss. The
15-pound weight loss.
Yeah, the weight loss has allowed him, when he was originally playing as the under tackle, he was a big, boxy guy, and the movement and the lateral quickness and the up the field stuff wasn't good enough. And people saw that as a deficiency. And look, he's making X amount of dollars. He's not worth the money. Right now, I can't tell you the last time I've answered a question about him not being worth the money. You know, it was constant. You know, we go, Joe and Flower Mound, Vic and Ventura, they all go for the low-hanging fruit. And they all say, well, it's this, it's this, it's it. No, he does things in the box score that you don't notice. And I guarantee you right now, if you asked LaMarcus Lawrence, he will tell you the reason why he's able to get home on some of those sacks is because of the pressure that they're able to get inside. Yeah,
the TE stunt is big, and
he is, and it'll be interesting to see now with David Irving back in the mix. Does he stay at the under tackle, or do they kick him back out of the outside? And now you got David Irving, you got Crawford, and then you got Taco rolling on the outside. Might need to see what happens with Randy Gregory here. Randy Gregory probably needs to pick his game up a little bit.
Hey, let me say this right here.
Yep.
I think if one more guy can bring the game, bring some fire, then we'll see a much even more improved Tyron Crawford.
Guess who's second in quarterback pressures?
Let me guess.
Tyron Crawford.
Yep.
Only one behind Tank.
Mick, he ain't a one-hit wonder, is he?
No.
Not two, but one.
But you know what? Let's check with PFF and see how they rate.
Oh, here we go. This is the happy hour, right? We're all happy.
All right. Hey, we got about 2 minutes left. Let's go around real quick. Don't give me a prediction for the game, but what do the Cowboys need to do to win? Offense or defense?
I think it's going to be really – they're going to have to – they can't bust assignments in this game in the secondary. You know, because, again, here are 3 receivers, much like the Lions. I don't know if they're going to make the plays that the Lions made, you know, because they don't think they have the quarterback, but they put up some big numbers passing the football. They can't run the ball. I don't think they can run the ball against the Cowboys. This is going to turn into a throwing game for the Texans. They got to be on the screws in the secondary.
Offense, execute, execute, execute.
That's it? Wow. All right.
That's pretty good.
I'm going to be brief.
Yeah. Off of that, I'll say you got to protect Dak Prescott again. They did a nice job of it last week. You have maybe the best defensive player in the NFL going up against him. We mentioned a couple of their other guys. Clowney is one. I think two forced fumbles, 2 sacks by J.J. Watt last week.
Incredible.
He tried to wreck the game. He tried to wreck the game by himself. They can't allow those guys to wreck the game offensively and get them out of rhythm.
So just put a tight end over there.
Clowney got a touchdown.
Yeah, they were everywhere.
They
were everywhere.
Merciless got about 7 pressure. But this is one thing, and I know we don't want to hear this because it's banned. This phrase is banned in my house. Fellas, y'all know we cannot get behind the chains.
No.
I hate to say it, but if we go into 3rd and long.
Right, like it was in Carolina.
Good night.
Nate, what do you think you've said more this year? Can't stay behind the chains or got to play smart?
Smart is catching up, but get behind the chains. Man, if I hear Jason say that one more time, I'm going to go over there and blow up the fort.
Play smart?
No, say
I know, behind the chains.
Oh, my God.
Well, fellas, this has been this show's so much fun.
We might have to keep this lineup. What do you think?
Don't
Great job, Shannon. That was fun.
Don't do that. Don't
Good
say
lineup.
that.
This was fun. Thanks for letting
me
me host
lineup,
this.
but don't say that.
Thanks for letting me host
okay,
this.
I didn't say it.
Nate wants to break the group up. He's here every week, so he doesn't care who's on this side or not. So.
This is a true all-star group.
That's the sweetest thing you've ever said to us, Nate.
I'm speaking to these 3 guys.
All right. Well, Broadus, thank you so much, man. Good stuff. Mickey, always a pleasure.
Absolutely.
Rob, good seeing you.
Fist bump there.
Nate, I'll see you tomorrow. Hey, guys over there pushing all the buttons, thank y'all so much. Thanks for everybody that showed up.
Even if we didn't get on the big screen.
We'll work on that.
One hit.
Thanks, Marching. Thanks,
Be
Marching Band. We will be back next week, 6 to 7 at Concrete Cowboy on Happy Hour.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!